You're listening to Hear the Chew Bubblegum, recorded from a secret location in the city that moves mountains.
Greetings.
We come in peace.
How's it going today, my good friend?
It's yeah. How are you?
I'm doing good. Happy 4th of July.
4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
I'm excited to celebrate my independence tonight.
Me too. A lot different this year than it was last year. We're not wearing a mask, being forced to do that, and all that other nonsense stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm excited. I'm ready for barbecues.
Okay. Do you know what 27 days from now is?
I sure do. It's the Pikeville Comic and Toy Con. Pikeville Comic and Toy Con is going to be on Saturday, July 31st at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. And for more information, you can visit their website, pikevillecomiccon.net. They also have a Facebook page, or contact the eStore Comic and Tech Shop on Facebook, or you can call 606-263-4946. Goose and I are going to be there.
Yes,
we are. We're going to be walking around. We're going to be doing some shows. We're going to be interviewing some folks, and we're going to see, where the day takes us.
Yes, we are. We also have a new friend in the bunker with us. Hello to Pup. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
And hopefully Pup will be in the studio with us here very soon.
Yeah, if it goes well, if he likes
just watching us and seeing what we do, we'll hook him up to a microphone, give him some headsets, and let him join in the fun craziness that we call Here to Chew Bubblegum.
Definitely. And, if Pup decides to do it, he does bring something to the table as far as being a Generation Z person.
Okay.
So,
are you Generation Z? Oh, okay.
And so he can bring a unique aspect or perspective to the perhaps to some of this UFO stuff.
Well, good. We're going to start out with some listener email. I'll go first.
Okay.
Kevin says, first, let me say this isn't a joke. Do you or any of your listeners have any ideas, design pics, drawing, research, or schematics of a time machine? If so, please send your design time travel, or machine to my email, which is kr024420@gmail.com.
Perfect. Jay from Ohio says, hello, here to Chew Bubblegum. Have you guys ever thought about taking the show on the road? I mean, I know that you can't do it every show, but I think it would be very cool for you to do a show from a few different locations. Just sharing my idea with you, Roswell.
Now, after I read that, I thought about that, and that would be pretty cool to go to a different location.
Yes.
And that may be something we may do in the future.
That'd be awesome.
So we may go set up somewhere to, first we'll get permission to be there, and then we'll set up and do the show from there.
He's not going to show up to Walmart and be like,
no,
recording from the automotive section.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Dempsey says, have you guys ever heard of or have any information on the Bentwaters Base UFO incident? It happened December 1980 in the United Kingdom. Roswell, my friends. Isn't that also the Rendlesham Forest incident?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've never heard of the Bentwaters. I'll have to look it up.
But Rendlesham happened in December 1980, correct?
It did happen, yes.
Okay, and this is Bentwaters Base UFO incident. I think that may be the same one.
It could be. I think Rendlesham is. I don't know because Rendlesham. I think. All right, no. I'll check into it, but I don't think it's the same thing.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't think it is, but you'll check into it.
Yes.
I'm saying I think it's the same thing.
You know what?
You have to let us know next week.
You know what?
Oh, you're going to check into it right now?
Sure.
Well, while you do that, because I have more emails than you, I'll just go ahead and read this next one. Let's see. T. Ron from Mississippi says, hello, Goose and Cronkite. I've been noticing sports games are getting rigged because people are losing money, then getting it back and break even. Others are not so lucky. I've seen stuff develop in the future. Betting was legalized. It was popular, so they legalized it in the XFL, NFL, and CFL. Made in sports stadiums to bet. NBA and NHL and MLB did not. Both idiots will pass on Biden and Trump. Harris will come in. I do not know the date. So I think he's giving us a little prediction of the future. Thank you, T-Ron from Mississippi. What is the verdict? Is it the same thing?
Same.
Aha.
Yeah.
So who was right?
I have no idea. Anyway,
Really?
last
No,
name
wait,
Sloan says it's been a while since
stop,
I've written
stop,
in.
stop,
I just
stop.
wanted to let you know that I'm still above ground and still listening to your show. I used to think that aliens and flying saucers was hogwash, but after seeing the videos the government has released, I can't say that anymore. You two knuckleheads stay safe and enlightened. Thanks, last name Sloan.
Yes. So who was right on the Rendlesham Forest and Bentwaters?
I'd say Rendlesham Forest is.
Yeah, but who was right and said they were the same thing?
I think, what's his face there?
Oh, Pup.
No, the guy that emailed in.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So the Rendlesham Forest is what's known, I guess, as the Bentwater. I've never heard it called that.
I've
either. Never heard it called that.
I hadn't either, but it'd been in the UK in December 1980.
Sure.
And you've talked a lot about the Rendlesham Forest incident.
Like I said, I've never heard it called that, so that doesn't make that.
Does that make you feel stupid?
No, because I know.
Well, it should make you feel stupid. Shouldn't that make you feel stupid, Pup?
Just a little bit.
Pup says yes, just a little bit.
Continue.
Okay. My last one is a very lengthy one. It says it's from Michael from Kentucky. And he says, I want to take a minute and talk about the Mandela effect. If you're not familiar with this topic, the Mandela effect refers to a situation in which a large mass of people believes that an event occurred when it did not. Probably the most common example of this phenomenon is the false belief that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s, when in fact he didn't pass away until 2013. However, many recount this incident as fact, recalling the news coverage of his death as well as a speech made by his supposed widow. There are many examples of what is now coined as the Mandela effect. Example, Berenstain Bears versus Berenstain Bears. Looney Tunes versus Looney Tunes. The Monopoly guy with a monocle or without the monocle. Jif versus Jiffy Peanut Butter, etc. Has anyone adhered to chew bubblegum experienced this? If so, what are your experience? What do you think causes this phenomenon? Is it false information being pushed as truth across timelines, false memories, or something else? I think it could be a combination of all those. False memories, timeline, something else.
Yeah, it's possible that, we've crossed into some kind of another dimension or something, perhaps. I don't know. It's very strange because I always remember the Monopoly man having a monocle.
Me too. Me
always.
Too. What about you, Pup?
I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that.
You never experienced the Mandela effect?
I can't recall that I have.
Stephen from the UK says, hello, Cronkite. It's your old pal, Stephen. Hello, Stephen. I'm glad to hear from you. When are you going to do another midweek show again? I've got my novels ready and just waiting. Roswell.
Thank you, Stephen.
Stephen's a good sport.
You don't like doing a midweek show.
I'm not a fan of it.
Why?
I don't
Because
know.
it shows you visually.
I guess. No, I don't really like I don't.
The fans deserve the Cronkite eye candy, too, man.
Okay. Well,
Don't
that's fine.
disappoint them.
I don't. I'll do the shows, but I'm not a big fan of them. I don't like being goofy, I guess, like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You're just saying that. You're just saying that.
No.
Pup says he's a really goofy person.
I know Pup is a goofy.
And I totally agree with you. Cronkite is a really goofy person.
Pup is a goofy person.
No, he's not.
Anyway, that's I don't really. Me personally, I don't care about them, but that doesn't mean I won't do them.
You were glad season 1 is over and we're on hiatus, and we'll come back probably in October, November, and do some more. Correct?
Sure, I like doing the podcast.
Me too.
That's my jam.
Me too, sir. Me too.
Now, can you explain to this season to Stephen the seasons how we're going to be doing them?
Well, Stephen, we had the finale of season 1 a couple months ago, and we'll start back probably in October, November, doing the video midweek moments.
Yep,
that's it.
Do you
That'll
have
be
any more?
season 2. Nope, I am out.
Vicky from Texas says, hello, Goose,
Vicky.
Cronkite, Ned, Nelly, and have you heard about the termination event? It explains that something big may be about to happen on the sun. Scott McIntosh, a solar physicist at the National Center for Atmospheric Research, and it's very rare, very, very close to happening. If you've heard about the termination event, you're not alone. When Oppositely charged bands collide at the equator, they annihilate or terminate. There's no explosion. This is magnetism and not antimatter. Nevertheless, the termination event is a big deal. It can kickstart the next solar cycle into a higher gear. I've never heard of that.
I've not either. I'm going to have to look that up. I want to thank all of our listeners for writing in. You can always call, text, or leave a voicemail by calling 606-373-3396 or email.
Email Goose at here-to-chew-bubblegum.com or Cronkite at here-to-chew-bubblegum.com, here-to-chew-bubblegum at yahoo.com, and that's how you can reach the show with any general questions or knowledge.
Yes. We're going to take a break, and we have two co-hosts coming up. I'm talking about Rebecca and Chris Short of The Short Shit Show.
That's exciting.
They're sitting in all segments with us today.
Oh, yeah.
So
Good.
We're going to take this break and go to that, and we'll be back in just a moment.
When you want fresh, authentic Mexican food, you want El Picante in Coal Run. Dine on sizzling hot fajitas, the freshest pico de gallo, or if you're craving their secret ingredient jalapeno dip, the only place you'll find it is El Picante. Look, there are Mexican restaurants on every corner. The difference is in the mouth-watering food and the great service you'll get at El Picante in Coal Run. Visit El Picante for lunch today.
Are you a horror movie fan?
Yeah, I dig horror movies.
Are you searching for a great internet horror talk radio show to listen to?
Why, sure, that sounds quite spiffy.
Then you need to tune into deadpit.com. It's the original horror talk radio show. Dead Pit is a show by the fans and for the fans. Uncensored and unbiased opinions are the goal of the show, giving fans honest reviews on new films and vintage classics of the horror genre. Make deadpit.com your #1 horror station destination.
Take a lighter look into the darker side of the world. Join Elliot, Gertie, and Beagle as they jump into the dark abyss of hauntings, fables, UFOs, and beyond. The Spooky Family Podcast. You can find them where you listen to quality podcasts.
Hello, everyone. Very special episode of Here to Chew Bubblegum. I am Goose.
I'm Cronkite.
And with us are our very good friends, Rebecca and Chris Short. You may know Rebecca Short from her TikTok and her appearance on our show.
Yes.
She is the star of The Short Shit Show. Welcome, guys. Good to have you here.
Thank you. We're excited.
By the way, an amazing. If you have not checked her show out, The Short Shit Show, it will blow your mind. You have to go check it out. It's amazing. I caught myself, the little guy on the TikTok thing that says, "Hey, you've been scrolling for too long," actually popped up because I was watching all of them. It's amazing.
Good. Now, you and Chris do have a lot in common. Planes and cars. We're not going to talk about that a whole lot right now. We're actually not going to talk about it at all.
That's fine.
Is that okay with you, Chris?
Antarctic conspiracies around planes, but we'll forget that.
Yeah. Well, Cronkite talks a lot about plane conspiracy.
He doesn't like airplanes.
No,
that's what we're coming down to.
I did not say I did not like airplanes.
That's because he's the perfect size to get sucked up in the engines on some of them. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. He's aviationist.
What? Mm-hmm. Aviationist?
Yep. You are. You're an aviationist. So.
Okay.
It's not cool, man. It's 2021.
Oh, okay. Well, you're going to make fun of me. I'm going to make fun of you.
Go ahead.
You got gray hairs in your beard.
Thanks, pal.
You're a gray beard.
Thanks, pal.
Before we start, like I said, again, thank you guys very much for being here. Rebecca, in one of your recent TikTok videos, you were talking about frequency and so forth, and you were going over a list of things. And one of the things you said, and this really struck me because, we've had people write in and, kind of ask something similar to that on the show in the past. you said to forgive yourself and others. Now, me personally, I have found it easy to forgive others. Well, not easy, but I can forgive others in my life sometimes. How do you recommend people in our audience forgive themselves for something?
Yeah. So the biggest way to do this is through self-reflection. And first, I feel like you need to figure out like the root of the problem, right? Because if you're angry is like a secondary emotion to what's actually bothering you. And then you need to forgive yourself for not knowing any better at the time, right? So like if it was a situation between two people and all of a sudden that relationship crumbled or fell apart, you need to not be resentful and mad at yourself for not knowing any better, right? Because at one point in time, that's exactly what you wanted. So you can't really have any resentments towards yourself on that.
And chances are it's not your fault either if you're feeling that way.
Right, yeah. And the struggles that you're going through are preparing you for what you asked for from the universe. The universe always says yes. If you go about your day, oh my God, I'm going to have a shit day today. Yes.
I can attest to that one.
If you go about it as today's going to be the best day that it can be and I'm going to make the negative into a positive, then yes, the universe always says yes. That goes into the confirmation bias. That goes into manifestation. That goes into positive self-talk. That goes into karma, right? What you put out into the universe, you get back. Going off of like the positive talk and changing the way that you speak. One of the hardest things that I had someone asked me this question and they said, look at yourself in the mirror. What's the first thing that you think of? Like the first thought, right? Now go say it to a child. And if you can't say it to a child, then you shouldn't be talking to yourself that way. Oh, and that's the biggest change. You need to change the way that you speak. Instead of saying can't, say this is hard, but I'm going to find a way around it. It's not easy. It's a challenge, but you get better at it as you practice it. And you start catching yourself in those moments of negativity. And you're like, okay, I can change this.
And one thing that's worked with me is start out, don't just jump right in head first, but you'll get to it all in all parts of your life, but start out in something you do every day. Like for me, it was with work. And I realized that I've been doing that a lot longer than I thought because especially like on a road call, you don't have all your parts or all your tools you need, but you still have a job to do and get that vehicle back up and running to a safe spot so you can at least fix it the right way then. So, in the cookie factory, figure out how you can just bump that production line up a little bit. Just make it easier for yourself, figure out and get used to thinking that way, and you'll find yourself enjoying it more. And then once you do that, transition it to the next part of your life that you deal with.
One of the, it's a very old Native American story, and it's used a lot in spirituality, is there are constantly two wolves inside of you at battle, one representing good, one representing bad, or whatever, falls into those categories. And which wolf wins the battle? The one you feed. So if you're constantly feeding the negative side, if you're constantly feeding into the negativity, then the universe says yes. That's my advice. That's my unprofessional 2 cents.
That's very deep and very good.
Well, do you remember back a few episodes when I talked about The Secret?
Yeah.
The book The Secret. And then there's also a YouTube video movie of The Secret. And that is almost, that's identical to what she's saying. Basically building your own pathway every day. And you
create your own reality.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I reject your reality and substitute my
own. We're going to start out, and you guys jump in. First, we're going to talk about Antarctica. Now,
I love Antarctica.
We do too. We've talked about it on the show several times. We've done more research on it lately, and one of the things that I find interesting about Antarctica, and I'll show you this in just a moment, Cronkite. I don't think I've showed you this. But one of the things, I'm going to go ahead and show Cronkite this map of the hollow earth.
Yeah, I was looking at that this morning.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So you go ahead and go through stuff on my desk that's just laying there. You go through and start looking at shit, right?
On the internet, not
that was actually laying on my desk.
I understand that, okay. But don't you think that there might... Where'd you get it at? Did you get it from the internet?
Yes, apparently.
That's where I saw it at.
But I had
Would you chill out?
Okay. Whatever, nosy ass. One of the things that I find interesting about Antarctica is there's supposed to be several openings all across the world. And one of those is supposed to be right here in our home state of Kentucky, Mammoth Cave. And I find that very, very, very interesting. Real quick, Mammoth Cave is, it's a national park. It is the longest cave system in the known world. It was established as a national park in 1941. It has a bottomless pit in it called Sims Pit, and it is believed to be 105 feet deep. That is not known exactly. That's what they think. But I've done some research, and over the years it says that people had threw stuff in the pit over centuries and hundreds of years, and that originally the pit was a lot deeper than 105 foot and actually led to a lower level of the cave. And that pit was first discovered publicly in 1838. So just for a moment, just imagine it being 1838 when it was first discovered, how much stuff could have been thrown in there before then. There could have been tons. There's over 200 known entrances to the cave, most of which are blocked off by the U.S. Department of Parks. Scientists speculate that there could be another 200 openings that haven't been discovered yet. I think that that's very, very fascinating. That makes me want to travel to Western Kentucky and get out and do a little bit of exploring. Also, to date, explorers have mapped and surveyed more than 412 miles, making Mammoth Cave by far the longest cave system in the world. The explorers are still discovering new passages, and they often say that there is no end in sight, which tells me
they're definitely not even halfway there.
Well,
yet.
the end of it is Inner Earth.
Right.
Naturally.
889 miles down.
What's your guys' thoughts on the bottomless pit?
I don't think it's bottomless.
I think that there was a bottom put in so that people wouldn't question it anymore.
That's a very good point. I never
So like
thought
a false
about that.
bottom?
Yeah, like a false bottom. It was, because it was discovered in 1838. And just
Yes.
imagine how much stuff people could have threw in there.
Of course.
38. You and that number.
I know.
The map I saw, it's about 890 miles long. So we're going to need some good hiking shoes if you want to do that.
Oh, I'm
out.
Well, isn't just the
I'm out.
core of the
You're
crust
out.
800?
Yeah, I'm not
But
walking
you have to get
890
through
miles.
that to get down
Right.
there. So that's where the other 90
Well,
miles
you got to
comes in.
keep going. I mean, honestly, the best way to do this is just to get a U-boat because I have the turn-by-turn directions. We won't get lost.
Yeah, Cronkite said if we walk, he's out.
I'm out. If there's any walking, I'm done.
We can just get a U-boat. You can just sit nice and cozy in the captain's chair.
I'll just get
Perfect.
a saddle area.
So now let me ask you: Does it have to be a U-boat? Or is it just any kind of submarine?
Funny
I
you
mean,
ask about submarine.
it says to follow it strictly. So
So it has to be a German U-boat.
I feel like
I think maybe just any sort of submarine.
I feel like that's why that ended up that way.
Well, yeah, because they messed up.
Because they didn't follow the directions right. Now, you also have to understand, though, that they measure their depth. All their depths are different because they're not the same size.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't even think
So-
about that.
Oh,
Gentlemen, I don't know if you're familiar with that picture.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So what it is it's a picture in Antarctica, and if you guys follow on the website and come to my link tree in Telegram, we are having great conversations about all of this, and I post all of my findings and my research and links, and the other flock members post the stuff that they find, and we have a really great community forum going on in Telegram to discuss everything, and all of my content is broken up by different topics, so if you're interested in some things and not the other, that's
including
fine.
car talk. That's a Russian submarine. That is a K-class Russian submarine.
So you bring up a good point there as far as they have different dimensions. So run aground or any,
Right, so
And it broke right behind the conning tower. So if that's supposed to be the pinnacle of a submarine, and they were perhaps trying to follow some certain directions they may or may not have procured, what needs to be changed for a submarine that's 5 times the size of a U-boat?
Are the openings not big enough for any other type of sub?
So what's weird is it makes you wonder if there's a so it makes you wonder. Obviously that Russian sub smashed into the ground or the bottom of the ocean, but
smashed into something.
If it's right at the balancing point where the center of gravity is going to be on that submarine, it's obviously broke the keel and probably impacted there by the conning tower or just behind it, like he said. So
Right
it's
behind.
broken in half. So it's bottomed out, or it's hit a cave on top or something.
Well, I mean, first, I think it's amazing just to have an entry point in Kentucky, and I just think that's amazing. And the other day, I was looking at this map, and I actually counted the openings, and I text Rebecca, and I'm like, without me telling you, count the openings just the openings, not counting the top and the bottom, and how many do you come up with? And she came up with the same number, 7. What if over time these 7 entrances were the real wonders of the world?
7 wonders of the world.
Well, and that also falls into like sacred geometry and sacred numbers and numerology. I mean, 7 is a very sacred number, and there's 7 chakras. There's 7 is very sacred.
There's also
I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'll hand it back to you. Go back and look at it, and don't count the top and bottom. Just count the openings. And there's only 7 of them.
And then there's ones that like split off, right? Because one of them only goes into one, like they converge together into one entrance. So if you're just counting the surface entrances, then yes, there's 7.
I think that's fascinating.
The whole thing is fascinating.
Yeah.
Which it all ties into the Great Awakening map. Now, I touched on this briefly on the last podcast that I was on with y'all, but I want to talk about the Perry Reese map.
Y'all, listen to you.
Tell us about the Perry Reese map.
So the Perry Reese map fascinates the shit out of me. This map was found in 1929 in the, and I don't know if I'm saying any of these words correctly, in the, how do you say that? What is that? Topkapi?
Yeah.
Topkapi Palace Library.
Yeah, but it was discovered in 1831 in the U.S. Congress Library.
Shush. In 1929, it was discovered on a gazelle skin parchment. And what's interesting about this map is it was drawn by Haji Hamid Muhaddini Puri. I'm murdering this. I know. It doesn't matter.
I love her.
1533. Okay. Now, that was 300 years before Antarctica was discovered in 1773. Now, the really interesting part of this is it was drawn using the Mercator, or the Mercator projection. Mercator? It was used using the projection process that they draw maps with, which wasn't perfected until 1760. Was it a time traveler? Was it somebody getting divine downloads about how, and it was drawn as if the land masses would have appeared 6,000 years ago before the ice caps.
All the mountain ranges are there. All the rivers are there. No ice.
Oh wow! So I'm looking back at this. There's 1, 2, 3.
Too many maps.
So there's 7 entrances.
Not counting the top
Main
and the
entrances.
bottom. Main entrances, yeah, not counting the top and the bottom.
Okay. Well, this Darrow Caves and King Solomon's Mines, those are not entrances?
I have to look at it, but there's
one of them's a
them,
dead end.
So. Yeah, one of them's a dead end, but then one of them connected with something else.
Okay,
So-
okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So, yeah. What do you guys think about all the U.S. government officials that go there every few years?
Well, there's like 4,000 scientists and military personnel.
I had her listen to season 14, episode 1 of Ancient Aliens earlier, and they said in the peak of the season, there's 4,000 people there that are scientists and military personnel. On to the next.
Like there was a pause. There was a drastic pause.
What I find more interesting, though, is that they all get pulled into the top official's office afterwards for a debriefing, and these ex-Navy crew chief and airmen and loadmasters and just all these plane crews that are now coming out recently about the stuff that they saw when they were down there, and that the government is trying to hide from them and hide from us.
That's interesting. I mean,
when the pilot just turns around and says, "Buddy, that's not ours," about an object or multiple objects that they are flying next to or over.
It was 5 flying saucers that he saw. Let's just call it what it is.
That's weird.
Okay.
I mean, it's not weird. I mean, we knew there was stuff down there. But
Yeah. I mean, it's just, You know, I'm as intrigued by about Antarctica as I am Roswell. You know, if I could pick one place to go to, it would be Antarctica, and I hate cold weather.
Well, yeah, it's because it's still going on.
You know, definitely.
Hey guys, there's 72 and 75-degree caves in there.
Yeah,
For the ice.
so
Their
So you
caves
only
as
be
big
cold
as
for a little
and
bit.
as big and as complex as Manhattan
Wow.
Yeah.
you know, in
that they've found and let us have access to. Lord only knows what's further than that.
right now, and I think it was a few years ago. John Kerry, senator, was actually there. You know, I mean, you've got somebody in their 70s that's traveling out there. Why? You
Well,
know, that's question
That
one.
was on his whole climate brigade as he's using his giant burning jet and his massive diesel fuel burning boat there to promote, environmental protection.
Right. You know, which that doesn't make sense to me. You know, I mean, and I really don't think that they're melting the ice caps and all that. I do
It's
not
not
think
that,
they're
but
melting.
You
there
said
are-
John Kerry?
Yeah.
Senator, the guy who ran for president.
Yes. Oh yeah. Wow. See, and I've looked at that map and I've never realized that. Wow. I've never realized that, and I've spent hours and hours and hours of looking at that map.
Yeah.
And I never realized that until you pointed that out just then.
So what it is it says Lockheed Martin, covert excavations, visitations, Buzz Aldrin, Pope Aldrin. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, they misspelled on that.
John Kerry and high-ranking elites.
I feel like the elites that travel down there every now and then are just like any other team of scientists where they have the supervisors come in and check on their experiments going, this is good progression, this needs to be boosted.
The other thing that they found is they were sending weather balloons up, which is interesting that it's a weather balloon because that's what they said crashed at Roswell.
Yes.
But they were sending weather balloons up into the atmosphere to calculate the sun's UV and radiation. And what they were getting was the same radiation from the Earth out
It
of
was
that
coming
area
out of the South Pole, aka Antarctica,
in Antarctica.
instead of coming in.
Wow.
Oh, really? So it's coming out of the
Which
instrument.
then also makes me wonder about the northern and southern lights.
Well-
it's sonoluminescent lighting, which it ties into the ether.
But
was all connected.
it can be a form of communication if that's the only thing that can protrude out of our atmosphere.
Well, it's like a natural landmark if you think about it. Like, oh, you turn left at the big oak tree. Oh, you just dive in at the lights that you see on the end of the earth.
Do you think there are humans living in the hollow earth?
No.
I think they visit, but I'm pretty sure if they whatever is down there is smart, they said no, you just visit, you don't live down there.
Okay, here's my whole thing on aliens.
Okay.
Are you ready for my rant? Are you ready for Rebecca's
yes.
thought?
Yes,
Oh,
please.
yes.
My husband has to prepare himself for this. So, aliens exist, right?
Oh, yes.
Now, whatever they're going to tell you through mainstream media or whatever the government is going to admit to is going to be some sort of false flag, and it's going to be manipulated and miscommunicated in some direction that is only going to push their narrative, right? So let's think about the other side of this. If aliens have all of this technology and they have all of this knowledge and they have been here for millions and hundreds and thousands and hundreds of years, then why would they make their presence public to a society that can't even get over skin color of their own species?
Big facts.
They're going to come
very good
private.
point.
They're going to come to people that are open-minded. They're going to come through channeling of different sources. They're going to come through Ra. They're going to come through mediums. They're going to come through people that are going to be open-minded and able to understand and not approach the masses at once, because they're going to be meeting. If you look at the world on a whole, we are a very, very hostile planet.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to publicly visit here like this.
No.
No.
And humanity in a whole is stupid. I went off on a rant not long ago.
Yeah, you did. So
they can't seem. You're exactly right. They can't go over their own skin color. But it's not just that. It's the mob mentality. Once you and I can talk, we were having a conversation just fine. Maybe you don't. Maybe I don't think that way, or maybe you don't think that way, or whatever. But if I'm having this conversation with 20, 30 people, I mean, and they don't feel the same way I do, or even have an
You're
open
going to make
mind.
people uncomfortable. They're going to gang up on you.
Exactly.
Or they'll split into groups.
And then they become hostile. Like they won't talk to you. They become hostile to the point of physical altercations.
Okay. Now, and here's something I find funny, though, about that, and it makes absolutely no sense to me. You get those people like he described, and if you don't agree with them, they get so pissed at you because you have another point of view. That makes no sense whatsoever to me, And
As I say, not as I do.
Welcome to the U.S.
Yeah, and you've got some of them that's actually, getting violent and stuff and burning places down just because they say they have a right to say something, but when they say it, I don't have that same right. That makes no sense to me.
Preach.
And as Kentuckians, look at Dr. Rand Paul. First off, that man should be president, and he should be a permanent president until he cannot be fit for it anymore, because that man is so smart and so for the people. But he's been saying that all along with this whole stuff that just came out with, not to get off topic, but Fauci and his emails.
Right.
To the point where someone who opposed him told Fauci he needs to apologize to him on the congressional floor.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
It will never happen, though, because Fauci will never do it.
Did Fauci apologize yet?
Can I change the subject back and tie everything together, please? Because I've been waiting for this.
Yes.
So if we look at Antarctica.
Are you about to say what's circled in big there?
Everything's circled. Don't you worry about my map over here.
Just get Cronkite excited, because he's all about that.
Well, yeah. So I got a whole bunch of stuff on here. I mean, my notes are... I know that I've sent you guys some of my stuff, and it looks like a crazy person.
No.
Anyway, so let's talk about Antarctica and the pyramids that are in Antarctica, okay, which come from an ancient builder race. And then we also get into the crash landing that was 55,000 years ago, which will tie into the breakaway groups from the Nazis, which ties into the Vril Society, which then ties into document 6751, which admits the flight of 1947. And in that, no, it was the flight, Operation High Jump. Listen, shush. So then we have to get into Atlantis, Lumiera, and Mu, okay, which existed. Lumiera existed before. It's Lemuria. It doesn't matter how you say it, all right?
It's it does.
Yeah, what did you say?
You said Lemuria. It's Lemuria.
Lemuria. It doesn't change my point, though. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Go.
It was 34.5 million years ago. So that existed before Atlantis. Now, if you look at that FBI document, they refer to a flying disc, and they also refer to the Lokatala, which I looked that up, and it's Sanskrit. And they're words that are used together. And this is where it's going to tie everything together. Is Loka means spiritual world, and Tala means physical world. And they're usually used together. And they are referred to each side. Their number is 7.
Wow. Wow.
Jesus.
It all ties together.
Hey, he's got nothing to do with this.
Wow. I mean,
Isn't she amazing, guys?
Yes, she is. I've actually
don't sleep and live on coffee and nicotine.
And I've actually commented that on some of the TikTok videos, And earlier in an episode, me and Cronkite just recorded. I was talking to him about the sleep, and he has also been having trouble sleeping the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yes. Yeah, and then when I finally do get to sleep, I can't wake up. But it takes forever to get actually awake.
You see that?
Oh shit! I thought about it.
Don't think about it.
I know.
Paperclip sticking to her head.
Really?
Do you know?
And I promise. There's nothing. I felt the pull there. There's nothing on her face because my hand comes off, no problem.
You know what your third eye is, right?
I do.
There you go.
Ready? Oh, it's not. I'm trying way too hard, and now it won't come off.
There it goes.
And also, so what I figured out is this is a new science that they're actually trying to prove doesn't exist.
So I'm thinking about it all.
But
it won't stay on right now.
But I think it has to do with your chakras and where your energy lines converge and where blood flow happens.
This goes back to the same thing I've been talking about the entire time I've been on this show. Everything is connected.
Yes,
everything.
Yes, it is.
Everything is connected.
It's all connected.
It sure is.
And there's some, well, Chris is doing it too. I had no clue Chris could do that. That's awesome. And we've talked about on the show before about how everything syncs up together.
Yeah.
Like we'll be talking about something and then we'll read an email or somebody will call in and they'll be like talking about just what we were just talking about or, what we were thinking about talking about or, and I'm a firm believer like you that everything is connected. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Well, they call it the sixth sense or whatever.
Yes.
When you have a feeling of something dreadful is going to happen or what, every energy is connected from the rocks on the ground to the birds in the air to the clouds above everything.
The other thing that I want you to look into, and I think I've sent it to you, is if you look at a map of the ley lines of the Earth, just take the United States. Like if you just look at the United States and you look at the ley line map, and then you line up like some of the entrances and the energy spots, those are your Stargate portals. And then if you look at ancient Egyptian art and storytelling, their boats look like Stargate portals.
Now, these Stargate portals, where do we know where they go?
To other dimensions.
To just not like actual physical other places in our dimensions, but to other dimensions.
Other dimensions.
Okay.
Well, it's a physical spot. It's just in an alternate dimension from the one we're in.
Right. Okay.
There was allegedly one in I think Iraq. That's where Saddam Hussein was at, right? Iraq.
I heard about that. Yeah.
There was allegedly one there. Had you guys heard about that one?
You mean why they started the war in Iraq?
Yeah. About the Stargate, possible Stargate there.
That fascinates me. The whole idea of Stargates. That fascinates. That's amazing.
Well, it just so happens that Stargates is directly next to the Iraq War too.
On the map.
Yeah.
So
I need to get a map.
Well, we're
free downloads on the site.
Yeah, I have told him that, and
he's not told me anything. To be honest,
bullshit, man. I have told you that, and I told you when we get set up in a permanent studio, we're gonna, have a big wall centerpiece.
That's heard on episodes 33 and 34, guys.
Exactly.
Where's the free downloads at again, real quick?
Arthouse.co.
Yeah.
Arthouse5d.co.
CO.
Okay.
Use DuckDuckGo. So, you got to goose it.
See, and see, you laughed at me earlier for saying goose it. I don't see you laughing now, big man. Ha ha ha.
No, because he's a guest. You're just a jackass.
So, see, he always did you hear that? He said I'm a jackass.
He knows.
You don't resemble a donkey, but if you make waffles in the morning, I'm game.
So, hey, did you hear that?
Do what?
Never mind.
Hey, Cronkite.
Hey, Cronkite, check this out. Stargates, Iraq War, right beside it.
Oh my God!
So
now, what is the line in between? What's that?
That's where she's drawn and connected stuff.
Well, no, that is
the black one is all
here.
on the map.
Oh, okay.
So the Nazi breakaway group, is directly connected to the Draco reptilian inner Earth aliens.
Those are the bad aliens. If you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I knew the reptilians were.
Yeah,
for sure. That's awesome.
Are they bad or are they misunderstood?
Well,
they everything needs an equal and an opposite. So there has to be bad to be good. There's also a passage that I would love to read out of the holy tablets that one of my flockers has lent to me that ties into the light and the darkness and like the good and the bad.
Well, yeah, if you have that in front of you, feel free. You were asking Chris if they were bad or good. There is people that allege Queen Elizabeth is one of the Draco reptilians.
Oh, I mean, I'd agree with that 100%. But are they good and bad, or are they perceived that way? Because I feel like perception plays a big role.
Yeah,
in that.
Well, to a bird, that is terrifying.
I have researched and it's both. That some of them say that they are good, some of them say that they are bad, some of them say that some of them's good, some of them's bad. It just depends, I guess, on which one you encounter.
It depends on, I guess, your viewpoint and the cause that you can find in it.
So if it goes down to perception, right? So to a bird, a cat is terrifying.
Right.
Yes. It also, when you're talking about good and bad and dark and light and good versus evil, it comes down to intent. And your heart can't lie to the universe. So if your intention is for loosh, if your intention is to cause harm, if your intention is for selfish gains and at the expense of others, then you're evil. You're not good. But if your intent is good for the highest good, then then you're good.
And I totally agree with that.
Sometimes there has to be a little evil to get.
You have to go through the darkness to find the light, and that's
Right.
what I want to.
There you go. There you go. You know, we were talking about religion the other day, and one of the things, I mean, it's one of my favorite sayings, Cherokee Indian, you know, it says, religion is for people who are scared to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've already been there. You know, that is me. That's my philosophy on that. She is going to read a passage.
Okay.
This is out of the Holy Tablets, which has been a very, very interesting book. And this was lent to me by one of my flockers. And it has all of the answers in it. Like, it really goes over everything. It talks about the Freemasons. It talks about aliens. It talks about Jesus. It literally talks about all of it. And there is a passage in here, and it talks about light and how light was created. So then he created something. That something was in a state of darkness, a state of supreme balancement. One of the first things which Anu, El, the Most High, the highest, created inside the darkness was light in the darkness. This light fathered objects, and objects create subjects, creating subjection. When the light manifested in the darkness, it became the name of Anu, A-N-U. Being he fathered light, in time light gained a purpose. That was in opposition to the very darkness in which it was created. In due time, that light wanted to rule the darkness too. In fact, it emerged itself in the darkness until there was no darkness. Yet light must reflect. Reflection has a point in time and space. Thus, the brightest of lights is merely a beam in supreme balancement. Thus, light can never remove the darkness, but merely wear its garment and dream of its authority. Thus you have the spark of life, the living. One of the first things which I knew, the source created, was the quill. And of the first things which I knew, who is who he is, created the intelligent. And he commanded as he pleased. He said, by you I grant, and by you I forbid. By you I establish, and by you I appoint.
What do you think about that?
I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, all right, so light came from nothing, and now Anu is. Tell me if I followed this correctly. Anu is what he called the light, or is Anu is a spiritual being?
Anu is the Most High, which that name has been changed over several times, and
over several thousand
years. in different texts. There are actually a lot of names that are listed under the Anu. I just don't even know how to go about pronouncing any of them, but they're all along the same line. They're just spelled different. And then that also, when you look at different texts and you look at different religions, there's so many similarities. But what needs to be understood, though, is that source is all of it connected together, all of the gods, all of nature, all of the souls, all of the energy, all of the angels, all of the aliens, like whatever it is, it's all of it coming together and creating source. And from that source is different things. So you are of the universe, and the universe is everything.
That's why if you put it out there, it always says yes.
And then that also goes into the light and the dark, right? Because there has to be darkness in order for there to be light. You have to go through the darkness to see the light, to become the light. You have to go through those hardships. You have to go through that tough shit in order to understand the bigger picture and be a stronger person, right? Like, that's the macro affecting the micro.
Yeah,
that's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, it is. And I've always thought that, I
mean, and when
dark times make you stronger.
Yes, yeah. And when you dumb it down to Cronkite level, it makes a lot more sense. From now on,
Did I do that enough? Did I go?
From now on, whenever you say stuff, just Cronkite it. Just dumb it down.
You got Goose, but you got to kick it down a couple letters to get to Cronkite.
That's exactly right.
I think Cronkite had some stuff about Admiral Byrd.
Well, I just got his diary from February through March of 1947.
Have you guys read this or heard? And I know you know who Admiral Byrd is. Have you heard any of his diary passages?
Yes, some of them.
He just happens to have a stack of them there.
Well, as a matter of fact,
just so happens. Funny you mention.
So his flight log base camp. It was in the Arctic, February 19th, 1947, at 600 hours. All preparations are complete for our flight northward, and we are airborne with full tanks at 6:10 hours. So radio check with base camp, all is well at 7:30. So he took off at 6:10, 7:30, all is well. At 800 hours, slight turbulence noted from the easterly direction at an altitude of 2,321 feet. No further turbulence, but tailwind increases. Slight adjustment in throttle controls. Aircraft performing very well now. At 9:10 hours, vast ice and snow below. Note coloration of yellowish nature and disperse in a linear pattern, altering course for a better examination of this color below. Note reddish or purple color also. Circle this area to two full terms and return to assigned campus heading. Position check made, and again to base camp and relay information concerning colorations in the ice and the snow. Both magnetic and gyro compasses beginning to gyrate and wobble. We are unable to hold our heading by instrumentation. Take bearing with sun compass, yet all seems well. The controls are seemingly slow to respond and have sluggish quality, but there is no indication of icing. Now that's 10 minutes later. That's at 9:10 a.m. At 9:15, in the distance of what appears to be in the At 9:49, 29 minutes elapsed flight time from the first sighting of the mountains. It is no illusion. There are mountains consisting of small range that I have never seen before. At 9:55, at 2,950 feet, encountering strong turbulence again. At 10 a.m., we are crossing over the small mountain range and still proceeding northward as best as we can. Ascertained beyond the mountain range is what appears to be a valley with a small river or stream running through the center position. There should be no green valley below. Something is definitely wrong and abnormal here. We should be over ice and snow. To our port side, great forest growing with the mountain slopes. Our navigation instruments are still spinning. The gyroscope is oscillating back and forth. At 10:05 hours, I alter altitude to 1,400 feet and execute a sharp left turn to better examine the valley below. It is a green.
It is a green.
What is it?
Green? No, I'm just enjoying your story.
What was you doing this for?
I was scratching my head. It was itching.
You know what?
Cronkite, that's how us hat wearers have to do it because we don't want to disrupt a hat on our head.
Oh, right. Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm scratching my head right now.
Yeah, I see.
See?
We make another left turn and we spot what seems to be a large animal of some kind below us. It appears to be an elephant. No, it looks more like a mammoth. This is incredible. Yet, here it is. Decrease altitude to 1,000 feet and take out binoculars to better examine the animal. It is confirmed. It is definitely a mammoth-like animal. At 10:30, encountering more rolling green hills now. This external temperature indicator reads 74 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what you were saying earlier. All are tall with blonde hair. 11:30, countryside below is more level and normal. Ahead, we spot what seems to be a city. This is impossible. Aircraft seems light and oddly buoyant. The controls refuse to respond. My God, off our port and starboard wings are a strange type of aircraft. They are closing rapidly alongside. They are disc shape and have radiant quality to them. They are close enough now that we can see the markings on them. It's a type of swastika. This is fantastic. We are here. What has happened? I tug at the controls again. They will not respond. We are caught in an invisible vice grip of some kind. At 11:30, our radio crackles and a voice comes through in English with what perhaps is a slight Nordic Germanic accent. This message is, "Welcome, Admiral, to our domain. We shall land you in exactly 7 minutes. Relax, Admiral. You are in good hands. I note the engines of our plane have now stopped running. The aircraft is under some strange control and is now turning itself. The controls are useless." At 11:40, another radio message received. We begin the landing process now, and in moments the plane shudders slightly and begins to descend as though caught in some great unseen elevator. The downward motion is negligible, and we touch down with a slight jolt. At 11:45, I am making a hasty last entry into the flight log. Several men are approaching on foot toward our aircraft. They are tall with blonde hair. In the distance is a large shimmering city pulsating with rainbow hues of color. I do not know what is going to happen now, but I see no signs of weapons on those approaching men. I hear now a voice ordering me by name to open the cargo door, and I comply.
Now, was this after they allegedly were chased out
This was in
by crafts and?
This is in 47. So supposedly they were chased out. Wasn't it during World War II, or was it just direct?
No, it was after. It was like 12 to 18 months after World War II.
So it could have been this time, or it could have been because he went there twice.
Right. Had you guys heard anything of that before out of his diary like that?
I had heard the one of him being chased away.
What I find interesting, too, and I don't have the article in front of me, that before he died, he even confessed, that basically what Cronkite just read and that, why they left in such a hurry.
So I want to speak on the light and the description of the people. Because if you look up the Inner Earth aliens, this is what they look like.
Blonde hair.
Yep.
Is that what I was seeing?
Yeah.
Blonde hair, fair,
Almost
very angelic.
So
almost like peaceful Aryan race.
Yeah. So like the Nordics that they describe as the Nordics. Well, not
Yes.
supposedly in
The Nordics are what we're helping the tool in the Vril Society.
Okay, so that was in the Aldebaran project. So that's what I was going to say. That sounds like the same people.
Based on research recently over the last couple months, I think the Nazis are, some of them, not necessarily the ones from World War II, but some of the surviving ones are in the center of the Earth. I think you've got some there. I think you've got some on other planets, possibly the moon.
Yep.
Chris, what's your thought there?
You guys, with the moon, you guys heard NASA's latest announcement this morning.
Is this talking about Bill Nelson going to be involved in the?
This is that they have now assembled their lunar craft to help take us to build a colony on the moon.
Really?
In 2023.
I have not heard about that.
2023? Wow.
2023.
I've not heard about that yet.
Late in a couple months from now, they're taking one of their lunar vehicles up.
Now, remember how far advanced is the government, right? 100 years?
50 to 100 years.
Yeah. So they're just now building a colony on the moon. Okay, yeah sure.
No,
it said that they were taking people to actually live on the moon. They didn't say they're, I guess, building. They are taking subjects from this planet, and they will be living on the moon. And that's why they're taking the vehicle up first.
Would you volunteer for that?
No.
If you could get picked, would you volunteer for that?
No.
I'd be worried about space boots being in my size.
That is true. That is true facts.
If the government wasn't in charge of it, I think I would volunteer for it.
Goose, I was just going to say the same
I would follow
thing.
Elon Musk to any planet he wanted to take me to, because that man is...
Okay, so I still stand with my statement from last time that I want to go to Inner Earth, I want to go to Saturn, and I want to go to Antarctica.
I just want to go somewhere where I'm not going to be hot all the time.
God, thank you.
Well, you can stay on the mountains of Antarctica, then I'll go underneath.
They're false mountains.
Yeah, they're pyramids.
No, there are shells to what's underneath.
Well, yeah, but there's also pyramids on Antarctica, too. Someone had to build those.
Well, yes, but what's underneath those mountains right now?
It's the banter for me.
Do you think that they were close to? And I think it was 2016 or 17 when they found the electromagnetic anomaly over Antarctica. Do you think they were close to letting it out then? Because then they later came back and said, "Oh no, it was just this one-time thing. It was just the Northern Lights," like she said earlier. Do you guys think that they were close to letting it?
I don't think they were close to disclosing it. I think it was almost a big oops in the tabloids, so to speak.
Right.
And I think now we're closer than ever to finding out something accidentally that I'm sure will be redacted. But I'm just waiting for something physical to end up being shown or seen that people are going to go, yeah, not this time. Not this time. You got us last time, but not this time.
I don't think that they're going to release any information that could possibly in some way give up any sort of power that they have.
Correct.
I was hoping at first that they would. The more that
we can always be hopeful.
Yeah, and the more that I have learned about this, about how the reports even delayed to Congress, I've kind of given up hope. I don't think that they'll, and they've tried to blame Russia and China. China couldn't even land a rocket. I mean, it crashed in the ocean. They did not know where it was going to crash at. They could not tell you. They're
Russia
not that.
Not the enemy.
You know.
Yeah, Russia's not the enemy.
No.
With our current situation, they might be perceived that way, but I don't think they're the enemy.
They are not the enemy.
Chernobyl scares me a little bit, but that's
Chernobyl scares everybody.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest about that. That's how. I mean, that's
Chernobyl
how.
scares them.
I mean, yeah, you got to like think about it. There's trial and error, right? Look at what happened to Malbec. They're fucking around with nuclear power and they exploded in the war with Mars, and that's how we have the moon that's there now because it hit our original too.
So is that why we're going to the moon? Because Chernobyl's our Malbec? Seeing that it's all getting stirred up again?
That's a good point.
Oh my god.
Oh, did I just make a breakthrough?
Yes. Yes. We can put a tally down for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
you guys heard that in recent weeks that Chernobyl's now becoming unstable again. Right?
Yeah. There's
of course it is, because have you seen the Schumann resonance? Of course it's unstable.
There's
We
one
have no
room.
physical way to get there. It's in the basement.
Yeah, and then and there's one room too that they've not went in since the incident back in the 80s.
They can't get in.
Right, and that's where some of their machines and stuff they have been experiment. It's basically like it's an electron overload. It's getting full and it's just going to explode.
Yeah, it's basically going to be the pup motor, so to speak, of the giant fission reaction we're about to see.
Do they know when that's possibly going to happen?
Yes,
Probably.
yesterday and 100 years from now.
So far.
I'll bet money though that the Schumann resonance and the Great Solar Flash are going to have a huge fucking effect on that area.
Oh yeah. No, there's definitely a huge solar flash coming. And something earlier in the week, Thursday, we had a solar eclipse. We didn't see anything back here where we're at. Did you guys see anything?
We couldn't either because of the lovely English weather we've been having.
But there might have been a town in South Africa that actually
was totally dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you read that too?
Yes.
So
I watched a video clip on it, and it just, I think it was like 11 minutes total. It just went completely. I mean, darker than midnight black.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
For 11 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of an extended eclipse, isn't it?
Very, very. And I mean,
Can I ask a completely off-topic question? Unless you have something else.
No. You feel free. Go ahead.
Let me wait to get my back to topic interjection here, since just to return the favor.
No. This is a new topic.
So is mine. It's the banter for me. Actually.
Semantics. Mandela effects.
We've talked about that on the show a lot.
How do you spell barbecue?
What?
BARBEQUE?
Yeah.
Okay, now look it up.
Go ahead and look it up there.
My God.
Goose it.
Time I
Go
do
ahead,
this.
Cronkite.
Yeah,
Give it a good
goose
goose it.
it. Try and type in barbecue the way you want to spell it, and let me know how much struggle you have.
BARBQUE.
What's your search result there?
Biggins Barbecue, BB Smokehouse. It's
not recently
just
visited
type
places.
It. Just no.
Got you.
Just type it into DuckDuckGo. Just type in spelling, or just try and type it. Is it autocorrecting you?
I didn't know. I didn't even pay attention to that.
Come
Go
on.
to dictionary.com and type in barbecue.
Come on, shitbag. What does it
Is
say?
it spelled with a C?
Yeah, right. Since when?
What? With a C? Let's see that.
That's the Mandela effect.
Let's see that.
Well, why are the initials BBQ then?
Right? That's a Mandela effect.
That's stupid.
Dude, I stood in the supermarket for 10 minutes staring at the barbecue wall because I couldn't fucking believe it.
I've never known it to be with a C.
It's always a Q. Then the acronym wouldn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
right.
No.
It would be BBC. I don't want to say BBC.
BBC.
Yeah, BBC. There you go. You like you some BBC, don't you?
I certainly do not.
Okay, there it is with a C. C-U-E.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
Oh, this just says BBQ.
Yeah, see?
So, I mean, here's like you said, if it was spelled with a C, BBQ makes no sense.
No.
All right, now, my other question.
That's not how you spell that.
God. Barbecuing?
Yeah.
That's not how you spell that.
That's not with a C.
No, I'd never realized
Aren't
that
you
one.
glad I brought all my barbecue
Yes,
sauces?
I am. Not,
Yeah.
I know. Listen to Christopher. I got it. Yeah.
So the question is, why does he have that many barbecue sauce? Why did he bring
Dude.
that many
Oh,
barbecue
this
sauce?
man does
he is
amazing
a
things with
connoisseur.
the grill.
Oh, I thought there was like barbecue.
Please do not get him started on that. We will be here for another 3 hours.
I thought there was like barbecue
Literally
wrestling.
find him. If you come to Telegram, he posts all of the stuff
Yeah.
that he smokes. Okay, all right. So my next Mandela effect, and Chris and I, this is the one that we disagree on because I remember it one way and he remembers it a different way.
And I'm a history buff.
How many people were in the car with JFK?
Well, there was 5 others with him.
No. How many people were in the car when he was assassinated?
6, and then it became 9 when Secret
No,
Service
it
agents
was
jumped on him.
4. It was always 4.
6.
It was never a fucking limo like that.
It was a 3-row limousine. It was
No.
it was an extended Cadillac with
Listen,
suicide doors on the back.
I will die on this hill. There
Car
was
guy.
4 fucking people.
Car guy.
I remember 4.
Thank you.
6.
I remember 4. I remember, see the driver. You have the guy in the front, the Magic Bullet guy. You had Mrs. Kennedy and John Kennedy.
Yep.
Okay, but what about...
Wasn't there 3 people in the front seat though?
I don't think so.
There was 3 rows of 2.
Okay.
The governor and his wife, Kennedy and his wife, driver, and 1 agent.
Okay.
I'm with you, Cronkite.
I have to look it up now.
Okay.
Look up that nice, beautiful extended Cadillac for me.
While you're looking that up, what island is the Statue of Liberty on?
Liberty Island.
Since when? So he's been on Ellis Island.
Ellis Island. Shit. Yeah, you're right. Ellis Island. Where the hell's Liberty Island?
Apparently where the Statue of Liberty is now.
Ellis Island, yeah. That's.
I thought the Statue of Liberty was.
No, it's on Ellis Island. She's right.
I think the second Statue of Liberty we're being sent right now will go on Liberty Island.
Oh, are we being
Like if you
sent?
look it up, it's on Liberty Island.
Are we being sent a second Statue of Liberty?
Yes, we are.
Is it going to replace this one?
No.
Okay.
Apparently, we're just feeling that free that we need a second statue.
Statue of Liberty, the points on her crown, there's 7.
Yeah.
There's only ever 5 visible, though.
There's 7.
There's only ever 5 visible.
Semantics.
We did this on a TikTok
I
live.
know, and it got aggressive.
Because any picture, any way you look at her, you can only ever see 5.
Okay, so if you're in a helicopter looking at an aerial view of the Statue of Liberty, there's fucking 7.
Isn't there,
because
there are
they
2
blend.
small ones like on the main end?
No, each
They're all the same size.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
7. There's 7.
Okay.
But you can only ever see
Can
the
we just
5.
talk about the 7? Can we just talk about the fact that there's 7?
It's Mandela
7.
effect.
It's fucking 7. No, it's not the Mandela effect. It's
Yes,
you
it
being
is.
wrong.
It's not me being wrong. Just you're not right.
Oh my God.
You guys sound like me and Cronkite, except I'm saying, listen here, shitbag. And he's like, shut up, old man. Yeah.
So I found 2 different pictures, one with 2 rows in the back seat and one with like what we remember.
Mm-hmm.
So why are there 2 different pictures?
Because it's a Mandela effect. Because there's people. Because the timelines are converging.
It was 3 rows.
It was 4 fucking people.
It was 6.
Okay, this is a little bit off topic, but changing it. What do you guys think about John Teeter, if you're familiar with the John Teeter story?
I don't know about the John Teeter story.
I am unfamiliar myself.
Okay,
Ooh.
that's the time traveler that allegedly popped up in the 2000, and he was
with the phone?
no the IBM computer.
Yeah.
Wait.
I
what?
am familiar. So,
I have an iPad right in front of me, and I could just easily look this up.
and he's the one that escaped all that jail time.
No,
Right?
no, that's a different
No,
one. You're
no.
you're thinking
That's
about the guy that started with the $800 and
Yes.
bet stocks and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
but allegedly John.
the time traveler to save
yes,
the world.
Yes. I was really into that story when it first came out, but I think that it was, I mean, just in my research, I think it was fake, and it was an attorney in Florida. There is one fascinating thing about that is that
It's Art Bell.
yeah, yep, that's it. But one fascinating thing, he said that he came back in time to get this IBM computer because it had software not known to the public that could do something, and that in fact turned out to be true. So,
Did IBM turn into? No, hold on a second. Wait, did IBM turn into Microsoft, or is Microsoft its own? Is
IBM is its own
IBM
company.
get wiped out by Microsoft?
No, they're still
no, they're still there.
Okay.
They're just not as big as they were.
Yeah, I had a cousin who worked. Well, his ex-wife worked for IBM and got laid off when they got a huge contract and suddenly had to lay 120,000 people off after getting like $12.8 billion.
Yeah, that don't surprise me. But, because if you research, and I think I told Rebecca about this, or it might have been both of you in a group text, there is a connection between the Nazis and IBM.
You mean how their founder was related to Hitler?
Well, it goes further than that. They actually were in the process of making software or some type of machine to keep up with all the Jews that they had imprisoned at the camps versus handwriting stuff. They were going to create something. That's just like the basic of the story. Are you okay over there, Cronkite?
No, I'm not.
What are you doing?
Hey, while you're looking up the spelling of barbecue, how do you spell Gandhi?
GhandI.
We got all the letters.
Yeah.
It's not in the right order.
That's another one that changed.
What about?
Okay, so no. Go ahead, continue.
He's getting frustrated.
What about the Monopoly man with a monocle?
If they did, okay, have you ever seen the movie Ace Ventura: Pet Detective?
Yes.
Do you know the one scene in the movie where he comes down the stairs at the party and the girl with the fur on and he's making fun of the guy and he looks like the Monopoly man, and they write this whole fucking scene about the Monopoly man and he makes fun of his monocle.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, if he never had a monocle, why did they write that in?
Because asparagus.
No.
That's a very good, very valid point.
Because that whole movie, it didn't need that scene. It didn't need it. You could have perfectly watched that movie if it never existed. So if the Monopoly man never had a monocle, then why would they write it in such a way?
Chicago. What do you guys think about the 2012 theory that we did transition over into a new realm?
I love your questions. So
now would be a good time for an intermission.
we can call it. We can call it for a little bit.
I'm just saying that's gonna be a very, very deep dark rabbit hole you just opened up, Goose.
Do you? We can save that for next time if you want to.
Probably best.
Okay.
So when I have
that's
found,
gonna. I mean, it's holy shit. It's already been 2 hours.
That's a round table all to itself.
So what I have found, there are two different cars.
Mm-hmm.
There is the JFK with 4 people in it.
Okay.
But the Sabruder film, which I could have sworn showed only 4 people in that car,
right?
Shows 6 people in the car.
Yep.
Because they've altered it.
Nope.
Because what happens is when oh God, this is gonna go into 2012 though. Because
let me Cronkite what you're about to say down.
Okay.
Cronkite it down, please.
So what people and this is large speculation, but it seems to be true. That poor woman sitting across from Mrs. Kennedy, who got covered in his brain matter, literally got locked up in an asylum for the rest of her life. Do you really want to be known as a public official with a wife who went crazy after having brain on her lap? Or are you going to alter it to make it seem like no one was really affected?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, you're going to alter it.
Wow. Okay, sorry, that makes sense. But why so many mass hallucinations of different events?
Because what happened is when that reality ended in 2012, we went into some of us went into a different reality. There were already things in that reality that existed. And some of our artifacts collided, right? Creating the Mandela effect, because in that reality, things are different. But they can't change our memories, right? They can't change wait a second, no, it wasn't like that. It was the other. I remember it being the other way. So instead, right, think about it, if they had done this before, which they've probably, we've gone into multiple different realities, right?
Common Core man.
So if that's the case, then the reason that it's becoming such a thing now is because of our way to communicate with people. If you think about it, if this happened in the 1800s, they would have just thought that they were crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
If this happened in the 70s,
If
they
this
would have
happened-
just thought that they were crazy.
If this happened in the first half of the 1900s, they would have thought they were crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have TikTok, they didn't have Instagram, you didn't have Facebook, you didn't have worldwide instant communication with people going, "Oh yeah, I
Just
agree with
military.
you. I agree with you. I'm having that too." I couldn't tell you how many people in my flock have been like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not alone in this thinking. I'm so glad I'm not alone in this situation."
You have just made me. Barbecue has made me. That has tore my day. That was the pickle on the giant shit sandwich that this week has been. You have just.
It'd be
Was
okay.
it a dill or was it a bread and butter pickle?
Oh God.
As my dad would say, I have killed all of his unicorns and crushed the rainbows.
Way to go, short shit show.
Welcome to the shit show.
So you touched a little bit on document 6751. I've got some stuff highlighted. I'm going to let Cronkite read, and I just want to get your guys' feedback on it.
It's all a cover-up.
Yeah,
It's
it
gonna be
is.
hard to read this one, man.
Dude, I gave it to you because you make fun of my eyesight and shit.
Yeah, well, this
You
one,
want-
Well, here.
this
don't you use a
memorandum
monocle?
is to respectfully address the certain scientist or.
Well, here. Let
It's
me
been
see.
photocopied so many times. It's
What
hard to say.
part do you want to read?
Let's see. I was going to read the top part. I can see it pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and read it, and I'll get your guys' opinion and Cronkite's opinion on it. This memorandum is respectfully addressed to certain scientists of distinguishing two important aeronautical and military authorities and to a number of public officials and a few publications. A very serious situation may develop at any time with regard to flying saucers, and that's in quotation marks. If one of those should be attacked, the attacking plane will almost certainly be destroyed. In the public mind, this might basically start panic and suspicion. The principles concerning this craft is more at hand and must be offered. No, and I know I'm butchering it. No matter how fantastic and unintelligible it may be, some that finds previously instructed, but then they list a bunch of steps, and it's like parts of the
disc carrying cruise.
Yes. Go ahead, continue there.
Part of the disc carrying crews, others are under remote control. Their mission is peaceful. The visitors contemplate scouting on this plane. These visitors are human-like but much larger in size. They are not excarnate Earth people, but come from their own world. They do not come from any planet, in quotes, as we use these words, but from an other low planet, which, this is really tough to read.
Yeah.
Interpenetratus. There's your $10 word for the day. Holy hell.
Can we get a vowel, please?
The bodies of the visitors and the craft also automatically materialize when entering the vibratory rate of our dense matter. The discs possess a type of radiant energy, or a ray, which only easily disintegrate any attacking ships. They re-enter the otherlow at will and so simply disappear from our vision without trace. The region from which they come is not the astral plane, which is in quotes, but correspondence to the locas or telas, which is what I was talking about earlier. Students of Osterloh matter will understand these terms. They probably cannot be reached by radio, and then there's like a bunch of stuff written over that part.
Yeah. They, and to me, that is an official government document. That is proof that they've known for quite a while that intelligent life is out there.
Yeah, definitely.
70 plus years is what I believe. And that was dated July 8th, 1947. So that was
That was
the day after Roswell, correct?
Well, now, guys, here's what I put together with that, because I used to live next to still an FBI agent. Is that the first set of numbers are always the page numbers in the article, and it's 67 pages. The actual document's 6 pages long. Where's the 51 come from? Area 51?
Yeah, that's a very good call. Very good call.
Yeah, that's possible.
So, and I'm pretty sure that's the day after Roswell, because I think July 7th was Roswell.
So Roswell, that is 2 months, 3 months after Byrd's talking about the Inner Earth.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that, Rebecca, in that government document?
That there is a lot. Where's the other 67 pages?
66.
I want to see all of it.
Me too.
Did you read the very bottom line? Like, some of it's faded out, but it says Amendum B7C. The locas are oval shape, flattened length, oval with a heart resonating metal or alloy not yet known. The front edges contains the controls.
So basically, they're driven by a metal reaction.
Right. Yeah. And,
Because what do they always say about asteroids and everything? They have a high metallic content.
Exactly. And we've hopefully, and we've already said it, but I don't think at the end of this month that we'll know anything more than what we know right now.
There'll be another delay, right?
Yeah.
There'll be something else that happens. There's going to be... The government is so fucking full of shit.
No. They just said that they're here to help because they're our friends.
Yeah,
Yeah, and also Ronald Reagan said in the 80s, some of the most dangerous words you can ever hear is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. Thank you guys again. Love having you on the show. And I don't want to spoil anything for the audience, but we will be doing some stuff together later on down the road, and we will let the audience know when the time happens, when it does occur. Do you guys want to say anything in closing?
Well, this is July 4th episode, right?
Yes, this is July 4th.
So, guys, all you listeners and subscribers out there, on a scale of 1 to America, how free are you tonight?
There you go. Very good. Very good. And Rebecca actually spoke, so you want to wish him a happy 4th again?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, but this has been great, guys. Thank you so much for, giving me another platform to speak on, and being so welcoming and open-minded. And that's what everybody needs to just do, is just be open-minded and lead with light and love.
100% agree with that. And thank both of you for being on the show. Fantastic comment. Again, that's the Short Shit Show on TikTok. Absolutely mind-blowing material.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No better way to describe it than that.
And if you come to our lives, which usually happen after bedtime for children, I will make appearances there.
Well, good.
Every once in a while, Chris comes on the lives.
You don't have anything to say about that?
I mean, I just gave an epic closing.
Okay.
I don't know.
You did. I mean, you really just nailed it there. So.
Again, thank you guys very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love having them on the show.
Yeah,
they bring a lot to the show.
Was that kind of was that a shock that I don't really like doing the midweek moment like that?
What do you mean, since the first? No, because I had already knew you didn't like doing it. Because you'd already told me. Yeah. I don't think it's because you don't like to goof off. I think it's just because you don't like being on camera.
That could be. I don't know. Yeah, probably.
I think that's what it is.
Probably.
But our listeners also, you give them ear candy every week.
Sure.
For once a week in the wintertime for season 2. Give them some eye candy. Give them some stuff to look at. Pup agrees, right, Pup?
Pup doesn't know where he's at right now.
Yes, he does. And Pup agrees with us. Now, you're actually going to come in again next week and be in the episode with us, correct? Hang out the whole time, right? Yes? No? Maybe so? Yes. And we look forward to that, having Pup in and getting his outlook on some stuff. We don't know what we'll be talking about on next week's show. Again, everyone listening to this worldwide, especially those in the United States, happy 4th of July. And before we go, is there anything you want to add?
No, I think everyone have a good, safe holiday and enjoy the time with your family and friends. And
that's it.
That's it.
Well, I want to say special thanks to Carlin for all the voiceover work, CK Uncle Bill and the rest of the gang at deadpit.com. Justin Perkins of Talk Junkie. Be sure to check out Down on the Holler with Jordan and Brad and Seth's daily podcast on YouTube. Also, don't forget about the Spooky Family podcast. It is now up and running, and you can find out more information at spookyfamilypodcast.com. And also, again, I want to thank Rebecca and Chris Short of The Short Shit Show on TikTok for being here. Again, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week, and until then, so long for now.
Later.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.